Hey, you remember how the Dodgers were circling the drain about a week or so ago? Yeah, me neither. Mark Dos Santos admits changes need to happen for LAFC, and you are not going to hear a lot about Ty Simpson during Rams OTAs. Good morning. I'm James. And this is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is May 25th, 2026. Welcome back to the show while I'm still on the road. Do you like being in the know about LA sports? Well, if you do, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop an update. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. So before we go through the news and notes, we have a look at the scoreboard. Dodgers 5, Milwaukee 1. You know, it was barely a week ago when the scribes were trying so hard to get us all up in our feels over the Dodgers struggling. Yeah, they just completed a 7-2 road trip. The Dodgers bullpen, even without Edwin Diaz, holy crap, franchise record 38 consecutive scoreless innings. Yoshinobu Yamamoto wasn't exactly chopped liver either. 7 innings and a run, and Pages hits a 2-run home run. Dodgers lead the West by a game and a half, the magic number down to 109. By the way, also last night, LAFC snaps a losing streak. They shut out Seattle 1-0. Today, Colorado's in town to play the Dodgers at 6. That's Emmett Sheehan versus Kyle Freeland. So with that out of the way, let's get to the news. And what do you say we keep talking about the Dodgers? Why not? Kike Hernandez is expected to join the team today. Groin bumps for everybody. Line up at home plate. His elbow has recovered enough from the offseason surgery. Wouldn't even surprise me to see him in the lineup tonight instead of Max Muncy, who was hit on the hand with the pitch Friday. We'll talk more about that in a second. The scribes were just beside themselves with girlish glee over the return of the scrappy little guy. One went so far as to claim his nickname is Mr. October. Pump the brakes on that before you take that little golf cart over the side of Clickbait Cliff. Hernandez has manned up in postseasons past. I don't deny that. He's not Mr. October. Stop it. Dude only hit 250 last offseason, and the last time I recall seeing him, he got trucked by Andy Pages up in Toronto. Popular, scrappy, sells a lot of jerseys. He's not Mr. October. And I don't want to say the following ever again. I have no personal animus toward Reggie Jackson. But I still believe in my soul he cheated trying to break up a double play in the 1978 World Series. It makes me sick to say that that guy is Mr. October. So message to the scribes, stop stealing other people's nicknames. Hernandez has enough credit on his resume as it is. There's no need to steal a nickname that he didn't get. Now, as for Muncy, the hand remains swollen, and he might get a second exam today. Yes, he did get an x-ray in Milwaukee, but, you know, things will get obscured in an x-ray when a hand swells up. A lot of little bones in there, so you want to make sure you get things clear. I want to talk for a moment about a former Dodger. Has anything with mercurial former Dodger outfielder Yasiel Puig ever been easy to explain? It's been many years since Vin Scully dubbed Puig the Wild Horse. And he's still a wild horse. Hasn't been gelded or nothing. Puig's sentencing for a felony conviction in federal court was supposed to be tomorrow. It's been delayed for another month so that the judge could consider throwing the entire case out again after Puig has been convicted. Puig was found guilty of obstruction of justice and lying to the feds. Now, if you follow politics at all, this is very common, whether you're, regardless of what party, what White House you represent. If you follow politics at all, it's called a process law. Puig was not a person of interest in the investigation in an illegal bookmaking operation. He was simply a witness. And the feds said he lied. Well, maybe he did. So the feds now want him in jail for making a false statement for a year and a half. Now, I'm no legal expert. What I will say is, from where I sit, process crimes are often abused. Bipartisan abuse of that. And I've met Yasiel Puig. And if anybody is about to go into federal prison, you do want to be as rocked up as that dude is. I will say that. That guy is muscle on top of muscle. Be happy they call him the wild horse. Because if he really got angry, he could probably take out a wild horse. That's how strong he looks. Good luck getting him to wear the Kool-Aid inside a cell. I'll tell you that. So yeah, a lot of Dodger stuff to discuss. Feel free to let me know what you think. LAFC manager Marc Dos Santos told the LA Times of the Black and Gold's recent struggles, and that may be partially due to a tactical change. Quote, outside criticism when the team loses isn't that important to me. But in self-reflection, I'll tell you one thing. I believe we were building something with a clear identity. After a series against Cruz Azul in the CONCACAF Champions League quarterfinals, I thought about switching to a three-man back line to defend more. I went in a more defensive direction, and I don't want to be like that. It was a mistake on my part, and it doesn't reflect LAFC's identity, unquote. So, as we mentioned, they played last night. They only scored one goal, but they got the 3 points. Now they've got about a month and a half with the World Cup break. And Dos Santos is going to try to find a way to find the ideal mix. Quote, when we have the ball, we have to show the character to go after it. We can't be afraid. And when we don't have the ball, we can't just sit back. Look at one of the best teams in the world, Paris Saint-Germain. Look at how they run without the ball. That's soccer today, unquote. Now, I'm going to watch the LAFC match later today. I have it DVR'd. I can't tell you how free-flowing the offense looked last night yet. All I know is that they scored once. So if you are a supporter of the Black and Gold, let me know what you thought. Are there changes that are already being implemented, or are we going to see the result in about a month and a half? The Rams opened off-season training activities Tuesday with a most unusual situation. You see, the NFL, in a way to keep you hooked in, they always want to be a future-looking league, give you something to anticipate. That's why they try to do things like hype up the combine. That's why you always see the phrase, the future is now, all during draft weekend. Something to look forward to. So the story for everybody in the OTAs should be obvious. How does the first round draft pick look? Is this young guy going to be the solution to all of our problems? Well, the Rams are a Super Bowl contender with a loaded roster, so nobody's going to notice Ty Simpson unless he gets arrested. Straight and simple. Team sources went so far as to tell ESPN that they would consider it a win if Simpson didn't play in a game until the end of his rookie contract. But it sounds weird, but it also makes total sense. It's how the Packers treated both Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love. Oh, side note, there's actually a chance you might meet the Rams' first-round draft pick at a Stater Brothers. He's not rolling around town in a pimped-out Escalade. Dude doesn't even own a car. Quote, I walk and Uber everywhere, but I haven't had a chance to go through the freeway and things like that yet. I'm kind of looking forward to it because I've heard it's unreal, unquote. You have no idea, my dude. You have no idea. Sean McVay, meanwhile, continued to dispel the narrative that he did not want to draft Simpson. He described the guy as a, quote, OKG, our kind of guy. What McVay really liked is Simpson showed grace under pressure. Quote, I like that he had to wait his time at Alabama. And the easy thing, especially nowadays, would have been able to run away. I like that he didn't. They lose to Florida State and the sky is falling, and they find a way to be able to have some resolve, and they get to the SEC championship, and there's a lot of good things in the midst of it. I like the way that he responded when guys would drop balls, and he didn't flinch. Didn't say a word, except for, man, where can I be better? Those were the things that the tape communicated to me, unquote. So, as I told you on draft night, I thought Simpson was going to be the guy, whether the Rams took him at 13 or traded back. I think they look at their roster as a young roster. The only old guy is Stafford. You could take that young roster, they get into their physical prime, and all of a sudden they got a quarterback waiting in the wings. That's what takes a one-shot champion to a potential dynasty. So, Simpson will be on the field for OTAs Tuesday. Chances are you're not even going to know because the future is not now for the Rams. In yesterday's episode, we spent a little time talking about whether the hype surrounding UCLA football was worth it. Now, that's not meant to troll. It's because there's been so much change with the Bruins, necessary change, I might add, that eventually you say, can I really buy in? That's a lot of change going on. And I see these comments all over the map in the, in the comments and also in the media. There's an ESPN analyst who went to USC, by the way, who's really bullish on UCLA. He thinks UCLA is a solid bet to win at least 8 games. So what do we buy? Because again, do you buy the hype? Or do you get skeptical because hype is hype? I'm going to suggest that one massive issue with the Bruins may have been resolved, and that it's good enough to be a foundational piece for the rest of the team, the pass rush. I keep reading every other day, read it all throughout spring camp, and I'm still reading it now, from the national press to the local press, about the transfer end from James Madison Sahir West, a converted high school linebacker who recorded 7 sacks as a defensive end last year. Remember, the Bruins didn't even get to double-digit sacks in the entire season until the regular season finale. If the Bruins recipe this year goes along the lines of, hey, we're going to have a steadier defensive front, and that's going to keep us afloat until the offense pushes over just enough scoring. Now, that doesn't make them a threat to win the Big Ten title, but it is a viable plan. It makes sense. So, if you are a Bruins fan, I would put my faith in Sahir West, possibly as a foundational piece holding up the rest of the team. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me about what you're thinking after that Dodger road trip. And for that matter, what do you believe LAFC has to do in order to right the ship? And if you enjoyed this update, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We're talking LA sports every single day. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Cortel Queso production. Take care.